We are now live. And we can let people in.
I'm gonna grab my Kiddush cup.
Go grab your Kiddush cup. Shabbat Shalom, everybody, as you're coming in.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Want to send you bring your chair around?
Yeah. I have to do my name
That's fine. We can be done.
Oh, it's Josh. Don't usually see him. Is this a children's?
No.
Okay.
Look at those Kaczynskis. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Fun to see a few faces.
Shabbat Shalom to you
Which one
too.
do you want?
Shabbat Shalom.
Great. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to welcome each other with a little Hine Matov, how good it is to be together, even virtually.
Hine matov u'manayim, shever achim gam yachad. 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 Hine matov u'manayim, shever achim gam yachad.
And as we welcome each other, we also, because it's Shabbat, we're going to welcome in those Sabbath angels that we need to refresh our soul, to give us that energy to make it through Shabbat and into the next week. So a little Shalom Aleichem, and you can follow along on page 24. Page 24.
Angels of peace, come in peace, bless us with peace, depart in peace. Angels of peace, come in peace, bless us with peace, depart in peace. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShabbat, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Zechem Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Angels of peace, come in peace, bless us with peace, depart in peace.
Shabbat Shalom again. So good to be together. It was such a glorious day. The sun was shining outside, and those of us that live in this part of the world, when the sun is shining, I hope everyone got to go outside and take some of that in. Deep breaths through our masks and just get as much vitamin D as possible with these days being shorter and shorter and darker. We're just so thankful for the sun and so thankful for the Festival of Lights coming up soon so we can bring more light into the darkness so soon. And it just brings so much light to see all of you who we can see on Zoom. And we know that so many people are watching us all over and tuning in from Facebook and from YouTube and everything. And we feel it. And we're just so blessed to have this community and that transcends all space and time, really. So it is so beautiful. And so as we do at the beginning of every service, we want you to grab your technology, take your phone and send a Shabbat Shalom greeting to somebody. Let them know that you are thinking of them and sending them blessings, appreciating them, sending them this extra angel and energy on Shabbat. And like to thank again, as always, Kim Schneiderman when she's able to join us and bring her beautiful neshama, her beautiful soul and her music. So many of the settings that we do are her original settings, and I know we've been doing them for a long time at Temple, so if you're around, you know them well, but if you're tuning in, we are so blessed to have the talent, and not only just the talent, but just such a beautiful person. So thank you for being with us. And our community is so full of amazing people. And we, as you know, that when we have a bar bat mitzvah, we invite that family to come and join us on Shabbat. And we do not have one this weekend. And so I asked if our own Kaczynski family would join us. And Josh, who is our executive director, but then Josh and Michelle, and then we have beautiful Rosie and Fiona, who are going to light the candles for us to officially welcome and bring in that light into the darkness. And you can follow along with them on page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. I'm losing my candle. So, little technical here. So you guys did a better job than I did. Amen and Shabbat Shalom. And thank you so much. I'm still having problems. We're getting ready for Hanukkah and our candles spilling everywhere. But thank you for joining us and bringing in the Shabbat light. And we will continue by welcoming Shabbat with Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala on page 20. Page 20.
Shabbat חדתי לקראת כלה, ונשמה לקבלה. שמוע וזמור בדיבור אחד, ישמיענו אל המלכה. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, שמו תפארת ולתפילה. חטאתי לקראת כלה, ונר שבת לקבלה. חטאתי לקראת כלה, ונר שבת לקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונראה, כי מכל המראה מראש מקדם לסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה, תפילה לחטאתי לקראת כלה, ונר שבת לקבלה. חטאתי לקראת כלה, ונר שבת לקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בעורף קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שתדברי כבוד אדוני אלייך. בגלל חטאתי לקראת כלה, ונר שבת לקבלה. חטאתי לקראת כלה, ונר שבת לקבלה. חטאתי
חטאתי.
לקראת כלה, ונר שבת לקבלה. חטאתי לקראת כלה, ונר שבת לקבלה.
We rise in body or spirit.
בואי ושלום, עטרת מעלה, גם בשמחה ובצחוק עולה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. חטאתי לקראת כלה, ונר שבת לקבלה. חטאתי לקראת כלה, ונר שבת לקבלה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה.
We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 26. Yitgadal v'yikadash shmei Rabba, v'yamad yifrachu te v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon u'yomechon, uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael, bagala, bagala, uv'izman kari v'meru, amen. Hey shmei Rabba mevorach, le'olam le'amei maya, yitbarach, Yiparach, v'yishtabach, v'yipa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei kudusha, brichu, leila mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram be'ama, v'meru, amen. We continue with our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu, on page 28. page 31. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Ahavat Olam is on page 32.
אהבת אדם, בית ישראל עמך, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים אותנו למדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכבנו, ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו בהם נגד יומם ולילה. ועבדך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמי. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
That God that loves us with an unending love, that God is one. Adonai Echad. Shema is on page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Ve'olam Va'ed. Adonai Eloheinu Emet. Adonai Eloheinu Emet. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, שבתך בביתך לכתך בדרך, שוכבך ובקומך, שרתם לאותה ידיך והיו טוטפות בין עיניך. כתבתם המזוזות ביתך ישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתכם מארץ מצרים
Your God, our God, Adonai Elohechem Emet, God is truth. Page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we are taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there's a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Micha our song of redemption, our song of freedom, is on page 40.
Won't you help to sing songs of freedom? All I ever had, redemption song, redemption song. Mahutacha, Rauvanecha, Hey, I am, Ifnei Moshe Miriam, Zemi, Hanu ve'amru, Adonai Yimno, Le'olam va'ed. Won't you help to sing songs of freedom? It's all I ever had. Redemption song, song of freedom. Redemption song.
And we turn to Hashkivenu, the prayer that we say at night, again, asking for God's protection on Shabbat to spread that Sukkot Shlomecha, that shelter of peace over us that extends, again, all through time and space. And we talk about that metaphorical shelter, and so that we're not creating an actual sukkah, but that we feel God's presence with us and God being our partner in walking these journeys and protecting us. And we feel that love that transcends time and space, that protects us and keeps us whole and brings us joy and keeps us safe at night. And so we ask that there be love. And that's why that is one of the readings that goes along with our Hashkivenu, is that shelter of peace comes from love and understanding and community. So that is the prayer that we will pray tonight, that let there be love and understanding and peace among us.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, Le'shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Ahamidenu, Shemreinu Lechaim, Rosadeinu, Sukkot Shlomecha, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, Le'shalom. shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
We say Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'akol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people, Israel, over all the world, over Jerusalem. And we say, Amen. We rise in body or in spirit for tefillah, beginning on page 46. 46.
Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Agi, Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, and my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Yimachot, U'mevii Gula Livnei Bneihem, Lema'an Shemo v'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Vezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol atah Rav LaHoshia. Mashiv Haruach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechakeh Chayim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol berachamim rabim, Tomech noflim berofei holim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha b'gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memid u'machayeh, U'matzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah lecha chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yechalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
We turn to page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. And we continue with our prayer for peace. Shalom Rav on page 60.
Every season, every moment, every season, every moment, every season, every moment with your peace. Shalom Ra, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Ra al Yisrael Amha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Ra al Yisrael Amha Tasim Leolam. Tovnecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'choleh ובראשם בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. Every season, every moment, every season, every moment, every season, every moment with your peace. Every season, every moment, every season, every moment, every season, every moment with your peace.
Baruch atah Adonai hamarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. And we say, Amen. We take a few moments for our own private prayer and private meditation, a moment to turn inward, to think about all those places where you are bringing light, even when we are in the darkness, that is our job, is to bring more light into this world. So now is the time where we start focusing, we start looking for those pieces of gratitude, which are sometimes really hard to find. But we focus on that. We close our eyes. Sometimes it makes it easier, and then we can see the light dancing through our eyelids and see that light that we can find inside, that we can then radiate out into the world to bring more peace and wholeness and justice. So we'll take a few moments for private prayer and private meditation.
Shalom Imroma Uyasa Shalom Aleinu Ve'akol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen Yasa Shalom Aleinu Ve'akol Yisrael Aleinu Ve'akol Yishmael Aleinu Ve'akol Yoshvei Tevel Ose Shalom Imroma Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'akol
May the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace for us, make peace for Israel, make peace for all who inhabit the earth. And we say, Amen. We also take this time, as we do every service, to offer a prayer for healing. And Mishe Berach L'Cholim. I invite you to share names in the chat, to say the name out loud in your space and send it out into the universe. We are all in need of blessings these days, and blessings, healing of body and healing of soul. And so we offer this blessing, and it can be found on page 253.
May the one bless those before us, heal the body, heal the soul. May the Holy One, filled with compassion, bless and heal us all. Mishe Berach Avotenu Ve'imotenu Hu Yivarech Et HaOlim Yivarech Et HaOlim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimale Rachamim Alechem Ve'yishlach Lahem Mehera Refuah Shlema Refuah Shlema.
Alone, anxious, curled in the fetal position, recalling and recoiling from the memories of a similar night years before, scared of what tomorrow might bring. Sure, this sounds like how many of us have spent nights during the pandemic, but it's also how we imagine Jacob's fitful night before seeing his brother Esau for the first time in years, dreading dawn and the new reality that it would surely bring. Fear is a powerful motivator. It pushes us to fall in line when we might otherwise fight. It forces us to take extreme measures in an effort to protect our families, and it nudges us towards decisions we might not normally make as we struggle to decide the correct path forward. This was Jacob's state of mind as he and his family left Laban's house and journeyed home, knowing he would likely meet his brother whom he'd wronged years before. Deeply afraid of Esau's desire for revenge, we find Jacob in full-on panic mode. He divides his family into two camps, thinking if Esau comes to one camp and attacks it, the other camp may yet escape. He pleads with God. He sends Esau gifts one after another, each time perfectly, so that Esau experiences a never-ending train of bounty. And still, there's not enough to calm his nerves. By the time he goes to bed alone on a separate side of the river from where he hid his family, Jacob's anxiety has only increased. And then we read, Jacob was alone, and a man wrestled with him until dawn. Jacob seems to have had his most intense spiritual experiences at night. Remember when he dreamt about angels going up and down the ladder in last week's Torah portion. Sometimes we gain great insight in solitude, in quiet hours, and withdraw from noise and business. The image of Jacob alone at night certainly suggests a moment of crisis, but also simply those times when looking inward is the only possible way forward. Torah just told us that Jacob was levado, solitary, alone. And then Torah tells us that Jacob wrestles all night with an unnamed man, which in Torah usually means an angel. An angel in Torah terms isn't a caricature with wings who plays the harp on a cloud. An angel is a shaliach, a messenger of the divine. Jacob was alone, except for that messenger of the divine, that representative of divine presence. God can't be seen or touched. Maybe that's why God sent that angel, because God knew that on the eve of meeting his brother again after so many years, on the eve of what could have been another fight or could have been a joyful reunion, Jacob needed something tangible. Jacob was alone, and a man wrestled with him until dawn. Even when Jacob feels at his most alone, he is never alone because God is with him. Even when we feel at our most alone, we are never alone because God is with us. When do you feel most alone? In the middle of the night? When you're grieving? When you lose sight of hope? When you hear terrible news? Camped by the riverside, Jacob must have felt alone in those ways, but he wasn't alone, and neither are we. We are loved by unending love, and that love is always with us. There are times for the quiet of solitude and also times to reveal our struggle and journey. We might say that in the aloneness of that night, Jacob is confronted with the most basic questions a human can ask. Who am I, and where am I going? A full spiritual life is a balance of solitude and connection, introspection and dialogue, learning one's inner truth, and also a deep vulnerability to others. Sometimes we need to be Jacob, alone in the night, wrestling with God. And at the end of the wrestle, Jacob says, I will not let you go until you bless me. In return, the angel blesses him with a new name, Yisrael, the one who wrestles with God. God is with us not only as a loving presence, but also sometimes as a wrestling partner. Sometimes we overflow with love and gratitude towards God. Sometimes we struggle with God, and that's okay too. Because in the struggle, there's always the possibility of a blessing if we're open ourselves up to receiving it. Jacob was alone, and a man wrestled with him until dawn. What do you struggle with most right now? And can you imagine finding God in that struggle? Maybe it's a struggle for social justice and the fear that the road to justice is too long and too difficult to tread. Can you find God in that struggle? Maybe it's a struggle with doubt or with fear that we will ever get a COVID vaccine available and be able to leave our homes and gather together again. Can you find God in that struggle? Or with illness, personal circumstances, family circumstances, work circumstances, can you find God in that struggle? We are Klal Yisrael, the inclusive community of God wrestlers. As a Jewish people, the children of Israel, we take our name for the name the angel gave Jacob on the banks of the river. We too can do what Jacob did, can take our struggles in hand and insist, I will not let you go until you bless me. Imagine saying that right now to the thing you struggle with most. What blessing would you receive? What blessing do you need to receive to give you strength and the courage and the hope that you need so that the struggle can become not a grind, but a dance? Like Jacob, we must face our fears, confront our emotions, wrestle with God in order to move forward. We've seen many things in the past 8 months that have shocked and appalled us and caused us to question our fellow citizens, our country's sordid past, and perhaps our own sanity. This time has entailed so much wrestling, and we're surely not done yet. But we must keep up the struggle. Maybe dawn is beginning to break. Perhaps the new COVID vaccines show us the first crimson cord on the horizon. But this is one case where we must not allow our fear to paralyze us. Rather, we ought to channel our anxiety into action. In many ways, we do not know with whom we are wrestling, nor do we truly understand what will happen next. But as God wrestlers, may we take our struggle and find the blessings so that we may fully prepare for whatever tomorrow may bring. Ken Yeh Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom. We continue with Aleinu on page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו ככם, וגורלנו כהמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים. לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. נאמר לחי אדוני לכל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
Page 293. Our thoughts turn to those who departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost. The martyrs are people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. Remember those most recently passed in our community: Jane Rosenbaum, Thelma Schnitzer, Saul Katz, George Boris Sidlin, Eleanor Rubenstein, Dr. Janet Irene von Feldman, and those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of their death, fall at this time: Letty Adler, Valerie Aaliyah, Harry Lewis Barron, Sally Bilo, Robert Blank, James D. Bromberg, Nancy Kaplan, Sherry Kaplan, Samuel Chimov, William Cohen, Regina Cohen, Adrian Darnell, Theodore B. Davidson, Arnold Dion, E. Frida Dabro, David Finkelstein, Pearl Friedman, David Frisch, Burton Gevertz, Betty V. Goldman, Greg Goldstein, Nancy F. Green, Matthew Henkin, Leslie Del Hughes, Beth Israel, Daniel Kivel, Ruth Liebenstein, Susan Marcus, Nettie Margulis, Leonard Meeker, Robert J. Newberger, Samuel Oldstein, Rita Cantor Perlmutter, Barbara Prebish, Oscar Asher Rosen, Miriam F. Rosenfeld, Florence Rudov, Anna Salzman, Nathan Shapiro, Harry Schleifer, Joan Sitwell, Minnie Spivak, Dorothy Warner, Robert Waters, Yetta Wheel, Stella Weiss, Margie Winkler, Albert A. Woolach, Arthur Zaks, Eleanor Zussman. If you're also in a period of mourning or honoring the memory of a loved one, once again, if you'd like to share that name in the chat, or if you'd like to say that out loud in your space so we can all hold them in their hearts as we honor their memories, we rise in body or in spirit for Kaddish Yatom, for Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'aman divrach yurtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedecho beit Yisrael, b'agala uvizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'elam ulamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitmamam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudusha brichu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, Da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu v'al Yisrael, v'al yoshvei tevel, v'imru, amen. Zirchanam livracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing. And we say, amen. Amen. A few announcements. Shabbat Shalom, as I said, and because I'm so excited that Hanukkah is coming. If I opened up my blinds, you could see my Hanukkah decorations outside. A first time I've ever done this to bring more light into the darkness. So very excited for next week. But before Hanukkah, so first join us for Shabbat. Tomorrow morning, Torah study at 9 o'clock and services at 10:30. On Sunday, we have religious school. And if you're a religious school family, make sure you've signed up to come get your Kita kit and see more lights at Temple. And then on Tuesday, we have a new initiative that is kicking off, and that is learning from each other, learning from fellow congregants. We have so many amazing people in our community. So again, so much talent, like I was talking about Kim, and just so much expertise. And so this Tuesday at noon, Rita Efros, a relatively new member of our community, but really you feel like you've been a part of our community forever, who is an immunologist, is going to talk to us about this really important subject and what is sort of going on in the world right now. And so zoom into that on this Tuesday at noon, and then we'll have more interesting sessions coming up for more congregants from there. And then Hanukkah starts on Thursday. So on Thursday, you can learn how to make sufganiyot, donuts, and then join for our first candle lighting. Every single night, we're going to have candle lighting on Zoom. So please join us. And every single night, something else is going to be happening with that candling. On Friday before Shabbat, join me for some challah making, and I'll show you my practice today, what I tried that we'll make next week. And then next Friday night, our Friday night services, our Hanukkah Friday night service is so fun and such a party, and it's still going to be so fun and a party. And we really want people to zoom in. So we love everyone that's on Zoom right now. If you're on Facebook next week, we want you on Zoom so we can see each other and we can, bring other people into the service. It's going to be more interactive and, all sorts of fun. We want to see your Hanukkah and all that good stuff. So very excited. And then there's just more and more stuff to come. So there's lots of exciting things coming up. We're really happy. And then once again, I just want to thank Kim Schneiderman so much for joining us. We just always so appreciative and behind the scenes. So thank Dallas, who's helping us. And thank you to the Kaczynski family for joining us and bringing in the light. So we're very lucky. So we'll say some blessings so everyone can go into the rest of their Shabbat. I think Kim's going to lead us in Kiddush. So if you have your Kiddush cup nearby, you can join her and you can follow along on page 5.
Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah banu. Shabbat kodsho, v'ahava u'ratzon yihilanu. Zikaron l'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom techilah למקרא קודש, זכר יציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, אותנו קידשת, מכהנים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה ורצון, הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. L'chaim.
Okay. Let's see if I can show without it falling. Here's my challah menorah, my challah Chanuki. How do you put challah and Chanukia together? I think we could figure it out, but we'll see. So come if you want to figure out how to make this. Join me next Friday before Shabbat. So we can say Motzi, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei havon. I don't even know where to. I'll take one of the lights off. So that makes me choke. Shabbat shalom.
Oh,
Kim, what are we going to sing?
let's sing out with a little friendship, a little let there be love.
Some more love. We'll bring some more love into our community.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Hamidenu, Reinu Elahai. Rosadenu, Sukkot Shemecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
May we find God in our struggle. May we know that we are not alone. And through that, that we create more love and more peace and more understanding in our community, in our world. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Good to see you. Shabbat shalom. You can take yourself off mute now and say Shabbat shalom to us.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Good Shabbos.
Shalom.
Good
Shalom.
Shabbos, everyone.
That you're going to your
Shabbat
blessed
shalom.
meet. Stay healthy. Love you.
Shabbat
Stay healthy, yes.
Say goodbye.
Shabbat shalom.
Bye. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
shalom.
Bye.
I like the constant refrain of Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Stay
Shabbat
well,
shalom.
everyone.
Awesome holla.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service, wonderful service.
Thank you.
It was a wonderful service, and I'm just blown away by that challah. That's just gorgeous.
Never
Thank you.
ever before
It's
created.
amazing.
No, this was this. And now the problem is, it's not going to turn out as well next week, right? It's like I practiced today. So let's all take it in because it might not look, it's not going to look as well next week. But
Wow.
Take
I am very
pictures.
proud. Yes,
It may even be better next week.
Take
Okay, I
some
like that.
pictures and
Thank
put them
you.
on our Facebook. Put them on Sisterhood Facebook, and
Roscoe,
everybody else
thank
will
you.
have.
Yes, was that Roscoe who was keeping the
Yes.
positive? I appreciate
Yes.
that. As I'm just preaching it, I should keep it is going to be even better
Absolutely.
next week. Even better. Love it. That's great. Fingers crossed. Stay tuned. You'll see next week, and then we can compare of how it is. Oh, did I freeze? No. Looks like everybody else, or people are just very stationary.
Thank you for a nice service.
Yes.
Wait, now I see Tiffany, where are you with your glass of wine and
We're just in the back patio roasting lamb kebabs on the fire.
hey, delicious. It's like very small on my screen. It's like, but it looks like, are you like a cabin, retreat with your wine and everything? It's great.
Having to find some new venues within the household.
Yeah, exactly. You just rotate from wall to wall. That's how I feel like.
I love your giant menorah, by the way.
My challah.
Your giant menorah out front.
Dreidel.
Oh, dreidel.
Oh,
Sorry, dreidel.
Yes.
Your
So
giant dreidel
the
out
gold
front.
ones, no. I have a giant, yes, because my neighbors have this amazing, crazy Christmas display. And they were like, are you putting up Christmas lights? And I was like, just reminding them that we are Jewish. And so I was like, well, I guess I've never done this before. So we got a blow up dreidel and these Hanukkah things. And then I have a light. Have you seen the light? I have like this this menorah light thing that goes, this blue and white light. So it provides a chuckle as people walk by and they're like, Hanukkah and Christmas, are right there. But I wanted to put more blow ups, but I needed to like have room for the dog. So
Right.
next time. But I'm glad it's appreciated. Come by and see the craziness outside
So
of
if
my
I
house.
put lights on, I can put lights on my house, but I just have to have a big blow up dreidel in the front.
Yeah, you just have to make it clear. I know. I seriously, I was like, I've never done this. Like, do I need extension cords? Like, how does this work? Like, how many lights do I put up? Sarah was like, I do not condone this at all. This is all you. You get to do this yourself. It's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. We're
He's
gonna bring
be
some
the one
joy.
that goes to Home Depot and buys all their lights.
That's what I wanted to do. And then I was told, like, you have to calm down. So this is what I got. So I have some lights. I have some lights.
See.
Yeah, Kim, you have to drive by and see. We're gonna have lots of lights at Temple, so you can drive by Temple starting at Sunday, and they're gonna put my lights to shame. They're in more blow ups, and it's been a banner year for the business, I'm sure, for these blow up companies of like everybody decorating outside. And you can't hire, you can hire people to put lights on your house, and they're booked like through the end of the year because everybody wanted it. Fun times. Okay, everybody. Shabbat shalom.
Yay.
Shabbat
Enjoy
shalom.
dinner.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
dinner. Bye. Thank you, Kim.